Hey everyone, and welcome! Have you ever wondered what would happen if you were stranded in space and had to do an emergency landing on another planet? Which one gives you the best chance of survival, even for a few seconds? Let's start with the place you're most likely to survive the longest, which isn't really saying much. Welcome to Mars, which we are placing in the D tier for danger. On the surface, Mars seems almost inviting. It has ground, it has an atmosphere, and it has a deadliest that's remarkably similar to our own. But don't be fooled. The moment you step outside without a suit, then the problems begin. First, the air. The Martian atmosphere is 100 times thinner than Earth's and is made of 95% carbon dioxide. You couldn't breathe it. If you tried to hold your breath, the low pressure would cause the nitrogen in your blood to form gas bubbles, a painful and fatal condition called embolism. Your survival clock is already ticking. Let's say you exhale immediately to prevent your lungs from rupturing. You now have about 90 seconds of usable consciousness, but the temperature is your next problem. The average temperature on Mars is a brisk minus 60 degrees Celsius. You would freeze solid in very little time. And even if you could somehow survive the air and the cold, Mars has no magnetic field and a weak atmosphere to protect you from the sun's radiation. Over time, it would bombard your cells, leading to a certain death. So for Mars, the final verdict is a painful, but not entirely instant death. D tier. Next up, let's visit the planet of pure extremes, Mercury. We're placing this one in C tier. Mercury has no real atmosphere to speak of, so there's nothing to trap heat or distribute it around the planet. This creates the most extreme temperature swings in the solar system. If you were to land on the side of Mercury facing the sun, you'd be instantly baked by temperatures of over 425 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt tin and lead. If you landed on the dark side, you'd be flash frozen by temperatures of minus 180 degrees. Your only hope would be to stand on the Terminator line, the twilight zone between night and day. But even there, with no air to breathe and lethal solar radiation, your 90-second clock of consciousness is ticking down fast. A slightly quicker and more dramatic death than Mars. C tier. Now let's return to the undisputed king of planetary horror. We've already had a taste, but let's be clear. Venus is the F tier, the absolute bottom of the barrel, the definition of a hellscape. The moment you enter its atmosphere, you're in a world of pain. The atmospheric pressure at the surface is over 90 times that of Earth. This is the equivalent of being 1 kilometer deep in the ocean. Your body would be crushed into a pancake instantly, but let's say, somehow, it wasn't. The surface temperature is a stable 465 degrees Celsius day and night across the entire planet. Hotter than Mercury and hot enough to turn you to ash. And the clouds, they're not made of water. They're made of sulfuric acid. While the acid rain often evaporates before hitting the superheated ground, the atmosphere itself is a corrosive nightmare. There is no survival here. Not for a second, not for a nanosecond. F tier. What could possibly be worse than the guaranteed multifaceted death of Venus? How about planets with no surface at all? Welcome to the gas giants. Jupiter and Saturn are F tier candidates for danger. People often imagine flying through their beautiful clouds, but reality is far more violent. As you descend into Jupiter's atmosphere, the pressure and temperature would begin to rise exponentially. You'd be tossed around by winds blowing at over 600 kilometers per hour. There's no ground to land on. You would just fall and fall and fall while being crushed by the ever-increasing gravity. The pressure would eventually become so immense that your body and your ship would be squeezed down into nothing. And that's if you survive the radiation. Jupiter has a magnetic field so powerful, it creates radiation belts thousands of times stronger than Earth's. You would receive a lethal dose long before the pressure even became a problem. Saturn is much the same. A beautiful ringed monster that offers only a cold, crushing, endless descent. They are a different kind of deadly, a super death, landing them in the F tier. Not to be outdone, the ice giants Uranus and Neptune offer their own unique brands of torment, placing them firmly in E tier. Like the gas giants, they have no solid surface to land on. But their signature is the cold. These are the coldest worlds in our solar system, with cloud-top temperatures dropping below minus 220 degrees Celsius. The winds here are also the fastest in the solar system, reaching supersonic speeds of over 2,000 kilometers per hour. And deep within their atmospheres, the immense pressure is thought to squeeze the carbon atom so hard that it creates a constant, bizarre rain of solid diamonds. so you would be frozen and crushed and pelted by diamonds all at once. A truly exotic but equally fatal end. E tier. So, after all that horror, the ranking is complete. We have a universe full of pressure cookers, deep freezers, and radiation chambers. But there's one planet we forgot to rank. Earth. The only S-tier planet for survival. The only known place in a sea of deadly chaos with a breathable atmosphere, a stable temperature, a powerful magnetic field to shield us from radiation, and vast oceans of liquid water. It's a reminder of just how impossibly rare and fragile our home really is. After touring the death traps of our solar system, you realize that surviving isn't about finding a safe place to land, it's about appreciating the one we already have. Which planet do you think offers the worst way to go? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And for more cosmic survival guides, make sure to subscribe.